Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope if you celebrate it, I'm sorry. Thank you. If you celebrated, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And then we're wrapping into the rest of the holiday season. So I sent out an announcement about the end of semester coming up and the last day that I can accept assignments. So make sure you stay on task and on point. Just to reiterate, everything here is auto graded and auto scored. So my role as an adjunct professor, I really don't have override capabilities in this course. So do your absolute best to get as high a score as you would like. If that's not to your liking, what I said, you can always go to the department and state your case there. But just understand that my role as an instructor / adjunct is pretty limited in that regard. Okay, we're pretty much contractors, so just so you folks know. Okay, all right, so we're rolling into PowerPoint chapter 4. I should say we're professional contractors. Usually an adjunct professor is someone who works in a field that they're teaching. Okay, so my full-time role is IT and web development. Okay, so yep, chapter 4, PowerPoint. We're going to talk about managing and delivering presentations. Okay, some of the discussions are deleting slides from presentations, changing the order of the slides, hiding and unhiding slides, copying and pasting, adding hyperlinks, checking spelling, adding notes, footers, adding date to the footers, slide numbers, doing a rehearsal timings, starting a slideshow, navigating your slideshow, using presentation tools, presenter review, recording a slideshow, printing your presentation and handing out your and customizing your handout masters. Okay, so again, printing handouts and packaging a presentation. So if you want to delete a slide, you can just right click right here in the slide panel. Okay, and then you see you have the option of deleting slides. Okay, if you hold down Shift, it'll select the adjacent slide. Okay, but if you want to jump around and select certain slides or specific slides, like right now I have slide 6 selected, but I'm going to select slide 8, then hold down Control and click, and you'll see these little squares will enable. Okay, so hold down Control when you need to click individual slides, hold down Shift when you need to select slides that are right next to each other. Okay, so the next couple of slides we'll talk about what happens when you right click and go to delete. Okay, as you can see here, the slide sorter button, I kind of showed this last week, is right down here. And within here, you can just reorder slides if you like. Okay, you can do the same thing, holding down Shift. You can delete the slides. Okay, you can copy the slides from here as well and duplicate them. And I'll go back down here to normal mode. So as you see in an example, you click the slide sorter button, and then you can click and drag the slides to the new location. You can hide slides as well. All right, so you see under the slideshow tab, you have hide slide options here. So if you needed to do something like that, maybe you probably would like hide a slide because maybe you modify your presentation for certain audiences. So when you're in front of the executive team, you show different slides. When you're in front of the marketing team, you show different slides. So that's one reason why I would think you would use hide slide. Okay. You can copy and paste your slides. You know, again, you can right click and go copy. Or under the home tab, you see you have your copy options here. Okay. Paste will only enable once you copy something into your computer's memory. And then you see you have your paste options here. And this one will keep the text only. So if you copied a slide that had a background, but you didn't want the background, you only want the text on the slide, you can say paste only the text that was copied from that slide. Okay, again here, home tab, copy button, select the slide you want to copy. It showed you the paste button. You know, again, you can keep the formatting of the copied slide. It'll use the presentation's current theme. And you can also paste the slide as a picture. Okay, where it'll insert as a single image, but you cannot edit the content. So you see, here's all the options. If you arrive later, please put it in the chat so I know at the end to mark you as present. All right. So when you want to add a hyperlink, you know, a hyperlink is text or graphic that when clicked takes you to a new location. So you can use a hyperlink to go to a web page, other PowerPoint presentations, custom shows, or any slide within your presentation. Some hyperlinks include screen tips. So to add a hyperlink, you know, I'm gonna say, you know, you gotta place a cursor where you want the hyperlink to appear. So I'm gonna select screen tips, go to the insert tab up here, then go to the links group. Then you click on links, and you see right here, immediately it shows, you know, a list of all my recent items that I've opened up in various Word apps. Down here, you get insert link where you can add a hyperlink. Okay. And you also get other options, like you can say place in this document. So you can link the word to a certain section within the document, okay, or a certain slide. If you want to link it to a web page, you would choose this option here and put in the address. But if you click this little arrow, it'll show you all your recent things you've seen. So right here, I was on Dell looking at this 27-inch video conferencing monitor. And then I say, okay. And then you see, now it turns into a link. And then while I hover over the link, it shows you a little preview of where that URL is going to go when you click that link. Okay. So that's adding a hyperlink. And you see that's demoed here as well. Click the insert tab, click the link button, and the link in the links group. Place the cursor where you want the hyperlink to appear. And then again, you know, if you wanted the link to go to a certain place in the document, you would choose the place in this document option. Okay, you can also change the text to say something else if you didn't want the text to display what you highlighted. And then here's the place in this document option right here. Okay, so spell check, good old spell check. You can find it under the review tab. Okay, you click, you can click this button up here under the proofing group, or you can hit F7 and that'll come up. But, you know, for demo purposes, I'll just put in some gibberish. Okay, now you see you get the little squiggly lines. All right. People are talking about AI and stuff, but you know, this right here is part of machine learning. You know, the machine recognizes that, hey, I don't know what that word is because I wasn't trained on this word. So there's a good chance that this word is incorrect because it's not in my data dictionary. Okay, that's that's how we train AI today. So, you know, it's been around forever. Just wanted to put that out there. So now if I click the spelling button, okay, now, you know, it doesn't give me any suggestions, of course not. But here's all your options. You can say ignore once, ignore all, or add. So if you want to add this word to the local dictionary of your Office application, you could. So anytime you put in that word, it'll just recognize that word for you. Okay. And that's part of machine learning, just so you folks know. You know, you'll hear more and more about AI. Just know that machine learning has been around forever. Okay. And spell check is like a good example of it. All right. So again, here's all the options for checking spelling. You know, ignore or ignore all, add. You know, you basically can add all the words you want, and it'll recognize it as a correctly spelled word. Again, so if it was a real word, it would give you some options of what it thinks that you're trying to spell, a list of suggestions. Okay, same thing with the search engines. You know, you'll notice you'll start typing for something and it'll automatically assume to autocomplete for you. And that's because it's been trained by us, by humans. And it just starts recognizing patterns. All right, so notes. Speaker notes are hidden notes that you can add to slides. You can add speaker notes to slides. Click the notes button right down here. Okay, let me expand this up some. So down here, you can put in some notes, you know, and notes help you give more emphasis on your slide. Usually your audience doesn't see your notes, okay? So people use notes to give them cues and all types of different things. Give themselves cues and okay. So again, there's a notes button. This is the notes pane. All right, so we click on a view tab. We have the notes page, okay, where you can just directly add your notes this way as well. As you can see here, hit the notes page button. I'm on the view tab. Here's my presentation, and here's my section to add my notes. All right, adding footers. As you know from Word, a footer is text that appears on every slide. Typically, footers appear at the bottom of a slide, but it can also appear along the slide of a slide. So we find it under the Insert tab. Here's the header and footer button. Okay, you can see you have all these options here. You can add the date and time. You can tell it to automatically update the date and time. Keep it to fixed date and time if you like. Slide numbers. You can add some custom text to the footer. You also have this option right here that says don't show on title slide, meaning that the footer won't show on the slide title, which is usually, you know, like your cover to your presentation. You can also specify header and footer options for the notes and handouts. Okay. So if you're handing out your slides to folks, then if you want a footer or a header on your handouts, you can do so. And you can see right here, it gives you a little preview. These little long rectangles are the headers and the footers. Okay, and then in the dash area is your presentation area. Okay, so that'll give you an idea of what you're working with. So again, I showed you this. You go to the insert tab, header and footer button. Okay, and then you see these options here. Again, footer checkbox. You can type in what you like here. You can say don't show it on a title page. Apply to all button. This means it'll apply it to all slides, or you can say just apply it to whatever slide you have selected. If you hit apply to all will apply it to all your slides in your presentation. Again, I talked about you can add the date and the time to the footer. You can say automatically update. Okay. You can find some date and time options up here as well. Under the insert tab and the text group, you see I have date and time, slide number, and object up here. Okay, the icons look a little bit bigger on my computer as compared to the ribbon and in the image, but they're the same thing. Okay, and this is the same thing I just showed you too, adding the date and the time. You would choose update automatically, so the date always stays fresh. So, you know, one day down the road, or even maybe now in your life, you may send out presentations to potential clients. And if the information doesn't change about your product or service, then you probably just want the date to reflect the current date. So it doesn't look like you're sending out material from like 2015. Okay. Same thing with websites. You'll notice if you go scroll down to the bottom and you look at the copyright date, you know, that's a good way to tell if somebody's paying attention to keeping their site up to date. We can insert slide numbers as well. As I talked about, as you see right here, it's a slide number button. And see, it all brings you to the same window, the header and footer area. So I just covered that in one swoop. Okay. Slide numbers, same deal. Same area, same window, the header and footer. Okay, so you can rehearse your presentation, and you use this feature to synchronize your verbal presentation with your slides. If you ever watch a TED Talk, or maybe even what's that show that people bring their business on and try to get money, Shark Tank, you know, you may want to rehearse your presentation, and you may want your slides to move and be in synchronization with your wording. So with PowerPoint, you can use the rehearse option, or you can rehearse your timings. All right, so if I click this, you see right here it's automatically recording. Okay. And then I could tell it I want it to go next after 12 seconds. Okay, you see that? And then I could tell it to go next again after another 12 seconds. And then I can tell it to pause. Okay. And then it tells me my recording's pause. I can resume recording. Okay, but I'm going to be pretty much done with the presentation with this demo. So I'm just going to say close, and it says it gives me a total time. See, the total time for your slideshow was 40 seconds. Do you want to save the new slide timings? You say yes. Okay. Now it'll give me a timed presentation. All right. So again, you would use that when you need to synchronize your slides with your speech. And you see right here, as I showed, once you hit that record button, it will start recording the slides for you. And then you can tell it when to advance to the next slide. Okay, and then you saw those controls up there with that toolbar, the rehearse timings toolbar. All right, and then to start the presentation, you can say, choose this option up here. You can say from beginning. Okay. Or you can say from current slide. And in this instance, it will start from slide 40. So again, from beginning, current slide, slideshow tab. And then, as I said, you can rehearse the timings automatically to feature automatically advancing. So if I started this presentation right now, I said from current slide, okay. You see right click menu, you can say next to go to the next slide. I can say previous. This comes up while it's presenting. I like to use the arrow keys personally. So right now I'm using right and left arrow. All right. And then right here, while I'm in presentation mode, it shows you all the commands it'll do. So right here, oops, sorry. You see where it says left click on a slide, then it'll go to the next slide. If I right click on a slide, you see I'm gonna move my mouse over here to the right. It'll go to the next. All right. Or you can press enter, you can press space bar. Previous slide, right click, it'll go to previous. Okay. So these are all the mouse commands that you can use while you're presenting to advance your slides. I want you to look down here as well. These buttons are kind of hard to see, but you can also use these options to advance your slides. You see these little buttons, they're kind of grayed out. All these things right here. So you have more options right here too. The way I exited out of presentation mode is that I press the escape key. And that brought me out of presentation mode. Okay. This was just discussing that while you're presenting, you can change the background color. So you can say black screen. See, those are just some options that you have. You can also you can change your pointer options. So here's a laser pointer. Sometimes this is easy to use. Okay. Sorry, that's my phone. Okay. So I just press enter, escape again to get out of that presentation mode. I just showed you the laser pointer, the pen, or the highlighter options that you can have while you're presenting to point out certain things. And as you can see, these are called annotation tools. And here are all the pointer options. Change the color of it. So in this example, they're using the pen tool to circle a specific slice in this pie chart. When you use two monitors, the audience will see the presentation slideshow view, which is what you folks saw. The presenter will only see the notes view. So let me see. I should be able to do this. Let me see. Present from current slide. And then let's do a new share. And then here we go, screen 2. All right. So yep. So this is the presenter view. So you see up here, this is what you're seeing as the audience, or what your audience would see as a slide, and then you as a presenter would see a little thumbnail, or a big thumbnail of your presentation slide and your notes. Okay, and then from here you can turn on the laser pen, laser pointer, the highlighter, all those same type of options. You can also unblack or black the screen, or white or unwhite the screen, zoom in, see all slides, toggle the camera on and off, and you have more options here. So this is what you would see as a presenter, gives you like a little backstage type of view. Okay. Oops. Let me see. All right, so I just showed you this right here, presenter view. You can record your slideshow. Click on the record tab. And then you can start saying recording from the beginning, from current slide, record audio, clear the recording, export to video. So you have those options there. See, this is me. I was just messing around with it yesterday. So I recorded myself while I was just going over the slides and little recording, So that's what it'll give you, if you needed to record something. Here's how it looks. You press the record button, turn your video on and off. Gives you an elapsed time for presentation. Gives you a microphone button on and off. Okay. There's your next button. So you might, you might record yourself going through your presentation. So if you're like a travel agent and you're showing off at Airbnb, you might want to record yourself going through the slides so your customer can be like, oh, okay, I hear what you're saying. And it gives you a nice little visual. All right, so when you want to print, you go to File, Print. Okay. Here we go, File, Print. Choose the color options. If you want to give out handouts, okay, you click the View tab. You go to Handout Master. And then it gives you a preview of what this will look like for you. Okay. So your header, your footer, here's the date, and it'll print individual slides. They don't give you a preview of your slides, just give you this little dash outline example. Okay, and then you can choose all these options here, all these placeholders, turn them on and off. If you want to change the slide size, you can. Last week we talked about the ratio being 16:9 for larger screens. You can change the handout orientation. So if you want them in landscape mode, you can do so like that. Change the colors, background styles. So you would choose, you would modify handout masters if you're going to hand out copies of your slides to people. So again, you'll view a placeholder where your slide would be set up. You can also, in the page setup group, choose the slides per page. And then, the placeholders will include the header, date, footer, page number, which I showed you here. You can turn these things on and off. Slides per page. If you want to show 4 slides per page, 2 slides per page. It all depends on the material you are presenting. So when you want to print handouts, you go to File, Print, and right here, by default, it says full page slides. You can choose your handouts here. So here's some default ones, 4 slides horizontal, and this will give you a preview. Okay. And then you choose your printer. And then you have your handouts. You can package a presentation. You can package it for a CD, or you can export it for other purposes as well. Because this is something that a lot of people probably won't do these days. But you click the File tab, and you go to Export, and then you get the option that says click Package Presentation for CD. This was big when after I graduated college in the early 2000s. This is how I got like my first co-op. And then it led to a full-time job. I packaged my portfolio onto a CD, and the employer inserted it into the computer, and it automatically played. And I didn't use PowerPoint to do it, but it was impressive. So that's why PowerPoint gives you this option now, because you might just need to package up something and give to somebody and be like, hey, play this in your CD player or your Blu-ray player, and it'll explain everything. So you have the option of packaging up this presentation. So say if you put together a presentation that has like audio, video, you recorded it, it's rehearsed, for whatever reason, if you need a good quick way to get it out to people, then you could do this. And as long as it works on a DVD player or a Blu-ray player, people may be able to play it in their homes. They might be able to. Okay. But you see right here, when you package it, package for CD options open. So, file, export. And then under export, you get all these different options as well. So you just don't have to package it for a CD. You can say create handouts, create a PDF, create a video, animate a GIF. Okay. So you have other options. It's just right now this presentation is talking about, packaging up for a CD. But they also mentioned too, CD number 13. You can also package it to a CD, but most computers do not include CD drives. So, but if you're like me, I tend to work off of desktops and laptops, mostly desktops. I like to have stationary computers in the various locations that I work, and then I bring a laptop with me when I need to. Like spring semester, where I'll be teaching on campus, same course. So yep, this is just saying when you package up your presentation, you can choose the folder to copy it to, and just browse for a folder on your computer. In this instance, they're putting it into OneDrive/documents. And that is it for chapter 4. So I do want to bring this to your attention again. Next week, it says this week is to be used for catch-up time on assignments. So that means I will not be doing a recording next week. Okay. But you can email me with questions. But again, as I discussed, I don't have override power on assignments. Because it is automatically graded. So with that being said, reach out to me if you need me. If I don't hear from you again, it was a pleasure having you folks in class. Like I said, the semester's not over, but next week is use the time to catch up. So use the time to catch up. Every week something's late. I think they knock off like 10%, but still better than a 0. So if you didn't turn in something and you're looking for certain points and I can't give them to you, well, you can turn in the assignment and then just accept the deduction. Anything's better than 0. So reach out to me. Like I said, I will be teaching in the spring. So if you have any questions about like your career and stuff, and you want to reach out, in particular about like IT, I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Okay. So you folks take care. You have a good day and a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See ya. You.